Welcome to Midnight Ramblings Live. Unannounced, unafraid, the sworn enemy of groupthink. Who does that remind you of? Of lying, a word I can't even pronounce at the moment. We are unafraid. Overnights, after hours, is a time when attention span is increased. During the day, there's so much noise, so much clutter, so many voices coming at you. By the way, my name is Jack Willard, and welcome to the 7 that have already joined us here on Midnight Ramblings. In the talk arena, people who give their opinions, who do various radio and stream shows, and also other mediums, there is just a clutter of people, uh, all vying for clicks. Megyn Kelly, Russell Brand, who can be brilliant, Dan Bongino, now Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, who you see on Fox a lot, has joined with a program. I'm not sure of the frequency. There's Clay and Buck every afternoon. They took the gavel from Rush Limbaugh. Sean Hannity follows him, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, on and on and on. So there's a lot of people at that hour. Here in the overnight hours, it's quieter. And there are people like myself that are genuine night people. I'll say hello to Linda Martin from Alabama. Good morning. Patty with an I. It's past midnight here on the East Coast, so I'm saying morning. When I did overnight radio as a DJ, it was morning after midnight, except on Friday night and Saturday night, when it went to at least 2 o'clock in the morning before you would say that it's morning, because people were out there partying, perhaps listening to you as they went from club to club, and they didn't want to hear that it was morning time. They were having fun on a Saturday night, even if it was 2, 3 in the morning. Hello to you, Cheryl Everhart. I'm good, Linda. How about yourself? How are you feeling? Nancy Barlett, Nancy from Texas, not Nancy Barrett. Now, I have to admit, Nancy, if you were Nancy Barrett from Arizona, I would be super excited about that because I'm a big Dark Shadows fan, but I'm very happy to have you watching from Texas. I am. I love Texas. Texas is standing firm. And I don't know where my Dollar Tree glasses are because they are the best to see the screen with. Uh, I was looking for them just before we went to air. Dollar Tree to get some backup reading glasses, the strongest I can find, even though my vision is basically okay. Yeah, these are better. Um, you're good. You're great, Linda. That's wonderful. Hi, Terry Akin. Welcome to you. Got a healthy number of people, um, a dozen watching right now. So happy to be here. Program like Midnight Ramblings could be live or it could be taped and simply dropped at midnight. That could happen on occasion. Can do a little more when it's taped and you still can comment in the comment section, for lack of a better term, for the pre-recorded video. But live is always fun because I get to see exactly who's watching. I always want to say listening. Um, Jack Savage was great, says Cheryl Everhart. Do you think so? I'm kind of, uh, uh, I'm kind of wondering if I should keep Jack on the payroll. Jack Savage, the other Jack. Um, it calls for me to be somewhat carnal, like I was in my radio days. Sometimes, other times, I was like one of the Osmond brothers. It depended what time I was on. If I was on at this hour, there would be more of a temptation thinking I could get away with it. If I was on 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., I was much more careful, much more careful. Cheryl Everhart, keep him. Love the outfit. Well, you have to keep changing the outfits. I don't know. I don't know. It's getting some hits, but it ain't no what topic, is it? That topic which I'm kind of laying off from for a while is like taking a gun and shooting yourself in the foot. You know, it's like almost channel suicide, except that the live shows get attention and what have you. Um, but um 300 hits is not enough. Um, you got to have more than that. The way it works in YouTube land, and YouTube was at the forefront of free speech, one of the first platforms, certainly, probably the platform to offer uh, uh, the exchange of ideas from different political parties, different religions, different ways to look at things. That doesn't mean they never censor content, but every platform would censor content depending on what it is. You know, you still can't cry fire in a crowded theater. Um, so I'm right now thinking that I may uh, do it when the spirit moves me. I'm not sure which spirit that is, though. That's the problem with Jack Savage, putting him on. By the way, this is the debut of my on air sign, which is all in red, but it's not really showing up on camera too well. Even if I turn off the light, it still doesn't look as red as it really is when I look at it. But I got that on Etsy, and I think from California. And that came in the mail yesterday. Actually, talking about Monday now. And I figured since Michael Savage, the real deal, has an on air sign behind him, I should have one too. Back in the day, of course, in the radio studios that I worked in, the on air sign was in the hallway next to the door to the studio. And when the DJ hit the mic, it was automatically wired so that the red light would go on so someone didn't just come barging in the room as you're in mid sentence. Not that that stopped everybody. Some are just, they're in another la la land. Patty says, are you aware of the convoy on I-10? They are trying to bring awareness concerning Texas and all of the border. I've got to really see, I got to zero in on that because, Shelley, Shelley with an I, Patty with an I, mentioned it on our worldwide ramblings, which is usually Saturday nights at 10:30. And I watched Fox for a while today. I don't think I watch much CNN, and they're not covering it. I didn't see it. Anyway, I didn't see it. I didn't get to see, Jesse Waters tonight, though, because, it was Moonshiners night, and I have my priorities. I gotta see my Moonshiners, and then we usually watch a few old Dark Shadows episodes. So, it's interesting. Are these independent truck drivers? Because their companies would not be too happy with them if they didn't do their scheduled loads and ended up driving to Texas. My son is right there in Texas making his deliveries. I know he's got to go to Houston on Thursday. He's got Houston deliveries. So, I forgot to ask him. I talk to him almost every day, and I never asked him about the convoy. So the next time we meet here on Midnight Ramblings, I'll have a little more to say on it than I do. But uh, anything that's on your mind about it, Patty? Are they blocking? Are they blocking uh, certain areas? What are they trying to block immigrants coming in? What are they trying to do exactly? Cars and trucks, peaceful assembly uh, along the way. Huh. Well, it's weird that Fox seemed to be staying away from that story. If CNN were to cover it or MSNBC, they would, of course, put the most negative spin on it that they could. You saw what Trudeau did to the truckers in Canada. Um, Access their bank accounts and just tried to ruin their lives. No matter where it is, we elect these officials and then they do what they damn well please. And most of the time, especially now in 2024, and it's been happening for a long time, but especially in the last 3 years, they are they are about being little mini dictators. We're watching our freedoms disappear, our freedoms be challenged. They don't care about the Constitution. They don't love America. They love their personal agenda. I've written some things down that's been happening, and uh, yeah, it's just it'll make you sick. I don't want to be here in New York with Governor Hochul. I want to live in a free state. Isn't it funny that we're referring to some of the states as free, like Texas, but Texas has got a challenge, from from the progressives that are invading the state. Um, they're holding fast now, but places like Austin and now even Houston, Texas. Houston just got a new great mayor and pushed. I guess he was elected, pushed Sheila Jackson Lee, out of the way, but maybe he hasn't taken office yet. Because she's still in Congress and now she's trying to at the last minute keep her seat. And I can't think of a more repugnant woman, but there are quite a few, and a lot of repugnant men, a lot of repugnant men. Um, yeah, money and power. Oh, there she is, the woman that was telling me about the trucking convoy. They got a trucking convoy running across the land. Remember that song? So we crashed the gate doing 98. We just ain't gonna pay no toll. C.W. McCall is one hit record, but he had a lot of songs very similar to it as he tried for hit number two. I don't know how he did on the country charts. I'm talking about on the pop charts. So hi, Shell. Hi, Patty and Pamela. And uh, yeah, Eagle Pass. Yeah, my son has been there as well, and that's a rough area because the stores that he delivers to are like just a matter of feet. One of them is from the border, One time he had some guys sitting on the dock that he needed to back up to. And, I worry about that, because they don't want to cooperate. He could be in danger. So I'm hoping he doesn't go there too often to the Eagle Pass area. Here's someone brand new. I believe Elaine Coffee. Same in Australia. Oh, you're there with my mate Paul. I do have a Paul in Australia. Then there's a gentleman in Wales too. We have had enough of this left-wing government, one after another. We first learned about your heavy-handed government, Elaine, here in America. I mean, I did anyway. I think a lot of people did during COVID because, like New Zealand, they had these draconian laws. And in some states, they did too. In some states, they did. Um, all based on um, decisions made on the spur of the moment or the spare of the moment or the heat of the moment by Asia. um, you know, Anthony Fauci, will admit that a lot of things like the 6 foot separation rule he just made up. He would also say now that those blue paper masks that people wear are basically worthless. Now, the medical community has a thicker version with better material, and that's a little better. But really, you need the K95, and that's only so effective as well, if you're going to do that. It seems now, it seems now that you can kind of tell when you see someone wearing a black K95 type mask or a cloth mask. Cloth masks are no good. No good. I find myself making a subtle judgment about them. And then I reason, well, they could have COVID. They could have a respiratory problem and they need to try to be as safe as they can. So don't judge them. But it does seem that some people that are not wound too tight, the ones that are wearing the mask alone in their vehicle as they drive or riding a bicycle on the street with a mask. This is how we get the kind of government that we have, because you always have to remember that far more than half of the people on this planet, are not insightful, intelligent people, and they can be tricked and they'll fall for anything. And they are what has led us into the kind of leaders we have now from the XYZ generation. And I especially am offended by the older people who should know better, that have seen, if they have any perception at all, they have seen this country, America, and many places around the world transform, take a nosedive in the 3 years that Joseph R. Biden has been around. And yet they uh, they uh, they don't seem to have a clue. Even my friend Leon, I don't think he ever watches me. He knows about my channel and he's always happy when I tell him that I've had some success. But my diner friend Leon, he's an old school Democrat. Well, I said, well, this is not your party now. This is not the party of George McGovern and Ted Kennedy. And, uh, we don't have people, this Orrin Hatch was a Republican, but people like that, we don't have um, uh, those people that loved America, and they could even get together in a bipartisan way when they needed to. We have people that are, it's like they're soulless zombies, so many of them. I mean, when you get to the level of Joaquin Jeffries or Adam Schiff, and now, of course, Cory Bush. Cory Bush is in trouble because just like the DA in Atlanta, Fannie. Just like Fanny, she's finding ways to benefit from uh, hiring her boyfriend and then using money for things that have nothing to do with their job responsibilities, you know. And now that's what they're accusing Cory Bush of. $62,000 from her main bodyguard, who was her bodyguard that she married, and saw him being questioned, and he was not too thrilled to have probably a Fox reporter asking him questions. So he was trying to blow him off as fast as he could, you know. Um, but there's definitely looks like there's some ethics violations there, as there are ethic violations with Fannie Willis. So we'll see how that goes. But when Biden's DOJ is the one investigating Congressperson Cory Bush, who spends a ton of money on security because she is so hated that she says she gets all these death threats. You know, she gets all these death threats, and I don't, think that any member of Congress that it's okay to threaten their life. We can disagree without taking it to that level. We can try to get them out of office. We can let our voices be heard. Um, but there is a way to do it and a way not to do it. So, oh boy. Well, here's Kathleen Whataburger. She's joining us, and Charlotte Surrett. Many of our midnight crowd, but look at it. It's like it's an all-female brigade. I'll tell you what. It's a posse, but I would never put another word in front of that. Not even on the radio at 3 a.m. But it's funny because I used to, one of the many things I did a lot of security jobs. Usually it was a part time gig when I was doing radio, or even when I was a peace officer at the homeless men's shelter for the city of New York, outside the city, thank God. And the overtime would stop. Well, when the overtime stopped, I had two kids, and uh, my wife wasn't working. I wanted her to be home with the kids, until they at least got into the first or second grade. And so I would do these security jobs, and some of the security jobs I've done in my life were really weird. They put me at the truck stops of America in a patrol car, and my mission there was to keep the lot lizards, the prostitutes, off the lot, what turned out to be a fairly easy gig. Um, because the prostitutes were using, at the time, it was in the 90s, I think they were using um, CB radios and staying off, communicating with the truckers on the CB, because a lot of the truckers were CBing. I think that is diminished now, right? I don't think the CB craze is with us anymore, and shortwave radio is just for a few geeks. A few geeks. Art Bell, the great Art Bell, late Art Bell, God rest his soul. I hope he's in the presence of God. Um, he was a big shortwave radio guy as well. Rick Hayes. Well, finally we have a male. Anyway, when I did this particular security um, patrol at the truck stop, I think I started like at 9 p.m. and went till 2 in the morning. The slang name for what I was doing was called the posse, but there was another word in front of the word posse. So, Rick, checking in from Rising Sun, Indiana. Well, yeah, Tell me about Rising Sun, Indiana. How big of a is it a city, town, or village? And what is uh, what is Rising Sun, Indiana most known for? I'd love to know. I always like to know. Like I was asking the gentleman from Wales to write a few paragraphs about what's special in Wales. He said that there's, a lot of history there, a very historical setting, and I wanted to hear more about it. There's not that much about Tom Jones in Wales, he said, just a plaque under an overpass. Um, Right now, we have 27 watching here on Midnight Ramblings Live. The show sometimes could drop at midnight, and it would be good too because I can do a little more that I can't do live using copyright-free music and stuff, which usually gets taken out in the live stream. Uh, they don't know whether I'm only using copyright-free music most of the time. So yeah, it was Shelley that said 10-4, big buddy. Good buddy, good buddy. Get the terminology right. Big buddy was this big gum in the 60s. I would go to Larkin's store. Uh, right across the street was St. Joseph's School, where I went to Catholic school in second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and I was expelled at the end of sixth grade. That's a whole other story. I'd have to have my lawyer here to talk about it. But Karen was in my class. She's over there. Oh, we have a new edition. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I knew Karen. All our cats died. We had like seven when I moved in here. She did, not me. And they all have passed away. And so we go to the East and East convenience store. It's not called that anymore here in the city. And there was this gray and white cat, looked to be clean, didn't look to be an outside cat, but it was in a dangerous area where it could easily be killed. And he just came right up to Karen, and you know how they lay on their back and they roll around. It's like they're auditioning. Take me, pick me. And I could tell she wanted the cat, and she was going to put an ad up on Facebook. And we have a thing called Lost Pets of the Hudson Valley, and also check with her friend who happens to live very close to that convenience store. And because we'd give the cat back if it belonged to somebody, we just weren't sure. And so here we have a cat again. We will find out here already money. The cat has to go to the vet on Monday if it's still around here. And she did get out. She was, how it is when they are kind of semi outdoor, and of course it's cold this time of the year half the time, and half the time it's not. We go back and forth between 30s, 40s, and then all of a sudden it's back into the 20s. Um, but Karen thinks it's a girl, but she's not sure. It looks like the cat has been spayed. You know how I don't know if this happens where you are, but they cut a piece of the cat's ear off when they spayed the cat to let you know it's been done, that it's been fixed. They call it, what do they call it? Catch and release. It's just like the prison system now, right? Yeah. Catch and release. And so they catch the cat, they give it some medical attention, they spade the cat, and then they throw it right back in the very same place they found it. That's what happens. I enjoyed the 70s, 80s mobile CB. Uh, those hearts are getting in my way again. Something about a station. Stefan is here, another male. Hey, I thought it was just going to be like, uh, Jack and the ladies. Hi, Jack and family from Canada. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? There's a good video about your prime minister that I want to check out. Now, where did I see that? Did I see it on YouTube or is it on Tubi? But it's talking about his dictator tendencies, and there's so much of that going on. George Carlin, the late great George Carlin. Um, I was sad that he didn't have any kind of spiritual Christian faith, but who knows what he died in a uh, Catholic hospital in Santa Monica, which I thought that was kind of ironic, right? He died in a Catholic hospital. A lot of celebrities have died there. And he said in one of his HBO comedy specials, he said, we do not have rights. We have privileges, and they can be taken away anytime they want to, the government, anytime they want to. So don't live under the illusion, that Ronald Reagan said we're just one generation away from losing our democracy. And now we see the XYZers with emphasis on the Y and the Z. And we see a battle for the soul of America. And this is going on in many, many places. Hi, you Robin Roman. You retracted your message. Was it too controversial? I'm glad you're out there, Robin Roman. Where are you watching from? Smallest county in Indiana, not one traffic light in the entire county. Wow. A small town on the Ohio River. Huh. I mean, we are near Goshen, New York, and um, for the longest time, it only had one traffic light right in the downtown, but now there's a few more than that. Goshen, New York is very beautiful. It really is. Um, I lived there in my first marriage for a good long time. And it was funny because although I was from 8 miles away, I was born in the Bronx, but I don't remember any of it because I was 3 when we moved. Um, but I felt like Goshen was my hometown, like right away. I wouldn't feel that in most of the places in the Hudson Valley. Um, Not too many, or in the Catskills, but there are some interesting places in the Catskills. You're in Colorado. Well, cool. Uh, I'm saying Robin, but it's not. Yeah, it is. Okay. See, I don't have my $1.25 Dollar Tree glasses. We're going to do laundry later today. Wednesday is laundry day, and both our washer and dryer are broken. We find we save more money, but we really don't because you're spending the money at the laundry. But the obviously the water bill is going to be considerably less, and Karen doesn't have to go down those cellar stairs. I would always say, don't go down there. Have your son, Andy, Dandy Andy, Red Bear on Twitch. Is Twitch still around? I don't know. I'm not a gamer. He is. God is he. He does everything. But I would say, make sure I'm around, or um, if I'm not around, Andy takes the laundry down. Just don't be the person bringing laundry up. If you fall back, it could mean your death. Could mean your death. I watched the movie The Identical. It was excellent. He looks and talks like Elvis. That is true, Shell. I was very impressed that uh, Blake Rain. You can see this movie on Freevee and other places. Excuse me. Blake Rain looks more like Elvis than Austin Butler, and the guy who played Elvis in the Priscilla movie. I think. I can't say I felt it was an excellent movie, but when you get Ray Liotta on the screen, I don't think really Ashley Judd shined like she would in some other movies. But oh, it's even on YouTube now, huh? Yeah. It's everywhere. That was the guy Blake Rain did two movies, according to what I can find. The other that he had a small part in was a very controversial movie called Hound Dog with Dakota Fanning, and it didn't get released because Dakota was like 14 when she did it. This movie changed the movie laws in North Carolina. There's a rape scene in the movie. She is often seen running around in her underwear and salty language coming out of her mouth. She's in a backwoods country, kind of thing. And there's a rape scene, and they keep the camera on her face, but it's with a man like in his 50s or 60s. And so it was very controversial. And Dakota Fanning, of course, is a wonderful actress. So North Carolina said that for that kind of thing in the future, the actress has to be over 18. That's if you're going to shoot a film in North Carolina, which makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is to have Blake Rain, 39 years old, and he's pretending to be an underage high school student. He hasn't, he's not even a senior, I don't think. And Ray Liotta is saying, "You're going to follow my rules. You're underage." It just didn't look too authentic. And what about those wigs, Shell? What about those wigs they made the poor guy wear? But anything that I didn't like about the movie had nothing to do with him. He was fine, and I bet you he is one hell of an Elvis impersonator. I haven't checked to see yet if there's any footage of him doing Elvis here on YouTube, but I bet Shell. Was the movie trying? Yeah, this is how you think. Was the movie trying to tell us that Elvis's twin never died? Yeah, I know. I wish the Mega Millions numbers were as easy to predict. And I'm just having fun with you, but I do know I could predict that you would say that. Um, uh, Obviously, since they say Matt Joyce was involved with this movie, I can't definitively say no. I can't definitively say no. But I would be surprised. I would be surprised. Um, I actually saw Pastor Bob Joyce's entire sermon on YouTube on late Sunday night. I don't always get to see it, and I don't always get to see the whole thing, but I did see it. And there was one headline from there, at least, that I will save for Midnight Ramblings on Saturday night. I didn't notice that. Oh, the Blake Rain's character, Ryan Wade, or was it the guy, his twin brother from another? No, it was the same mother, but of course, what happened is that the father felt that he should give up one of his infant sons to Pastor Reese Wade, played by Ray Liotta, because he and his wife were unable to have children. I feel the Lord telling me, I don't know what his wife thought about that. So the you got the twins there, and the twin that lives in poverty goes on to be an Elvis type star who changes the face of music on the planet. And the other one, of course, they're both characters are played by Blake Rain. The other one, Ryan Wade, is struggling. He's got the same talent and everything, it seems, but he's struggling to get a foothold. He's basically like a cover band. He's a cover band playing the school dance and stuff like that. He gets a little bit of a break here and there, but he, I won't tell you the whole movie. You know what happens in the movie. Dr. Pepper, yep. He drinks Dr. Pepper, and so does Pastor Bob Joyce. I got a picture of him doing it. Someone sent me a picture of him doing it, but not everybody authorizes me to put pictures up that they send, and that's fine. So, Shell, I know you like to go to these extreme thoughts, but I have never believed that Jesse was alive. I mean, the story can only get so bizarre. It's already bizarre without saying that Jesse's still alive, for me, for me. Um, but people send me pictures sometimes from Household of Faith, and they don't want them up, and that's fine. I still want to see them, because it gives me an idea of what's going on. But I can confirm that Pastor Bob Joyce drinks Diet Dr. Pepper. He does. Yeah. They tried to tell you things in the movie. You mean subliminally? Okay. 36 watching now. Isn't that wonderful? It's Midnight Ramblings live, but if you're watching in the replay, you're welcome to. Thank you for the likes. Please like if you haven't already, because if you're still here, you must like it a little bit. Subscribe if you haven't already. I know this is mostly my regulars that are here in the stream, but please subscribe. We're now over 5,800. For me, that's great. I'm never going to have a million. I'm not going to have the numbers Russell Brand has. What a smart dude. I mean, what an interesting dude he is. Watch Russell Brand. Besides, he has his daily show on Rumble called uh, Stay Free with Russell Brand. The first 20 minutes or so airs here on YouTube live, and then he tells you to go over to Rumble if you want to see the rest. Um, and but he went to Tucker's home. I think Tucker's in Florida now. I'm pretty sure he left cold Woodstock, Maine, and he's in Florida. And Russell on the weekend came, I think, to tape a long interview with Tucker Carlson, and it airs on the Tucker Carlson network, but you can see it right here on YouTube as well. And it's a stimulating conversation. They think alike. I agree with them 90% of the time. I would disagree when it comes to Israel. I think we have to be all in support of Israel. They're basically fighting their own war, but they do ask for economic help, and they have been our friend. But for me and for any Christian, it's a spiritual thing, and I don't think Tucker and I'm not sure Russell, he would claim to be a Christian now. He's had a sordid past as we all have. I'm not judging anybody. I had my Russell Brand moments. I just didn't have the opportunity he had. Um, so check out that interview. Both Tucker and Russell Brand would be what they call a globalist, and I looked that up just to see what Google had to say. What is the meaning of a globalist? Someone who believes that economic and foreign policy should be planned in an international way rather than according to what is. I'm sorry, they are not. They are the opposite of a globalist. That's what I meant to say. Someone who is a globalist believes that economic and foreign policy should be planned in an international way rather than according to what is best for one particular country. Obviously, Donald Trump is not a globalist. He's a put America first person, as Tucker and Russell Brand would be. They would be. Well, look who's here. My buddy Randy from North Carolina. Dang, Jack, says Patty with an eye. You sell yourself short. Give me an example. Here's an interesting name checking in. I'm burning the midnight oil. And Kathy Hochul's not happy about it. She wants to eliminate gas stoves, and she's not happy with oil in any form. I want to go to Florida. I really do. Burning the hunka midnight oil. The hunka burning love. Hunka burning love. And that's Neophi. Oh boy. write it out phonetically. I may have a chance of saying it correctly because I'm never good at that stuff. Has anyone seen the movie Nixon and Elvis? I saw a movie where they did that scene where Elvis comes to visit Nixon. I think I did, but I don't think it was that one. It tells a story about how Elvis met Nixon in the Oval Office. That Nixon gave him a badge to become an undercover DEA agent, a must see, says Robin Roman. Yeah, I first read about that, Robin, in the book Elvis by Albert Goldman many moons ago. Albert Goldman's no longer with us, but he wrote a thick book on Elvis Presley, which, if they were ever to make it into a movie, would probably, if they were true to the Albert Goldman book, there are parts where it would be like an X-rated thing because he graphically talks from his sources about Elvis's, wild days and his sad days at the end of him, touring as Elvis Presley. Notice how I'm saying this, and um, um, catastrophe happening. Whether catastrophe was him having to leave the country and go into a health facility for months to get well, or he actually did die and on the bathroom floor, which I obviously you know enough about me to know that I is unlikely to me. Well, Henry Bradley, another dang me. They ought to take a rope and hang me from the highest tree. Uh, Baby, don't you? Something. The great Mel Tillis, everybody, right? No. Roger Miller. I know this. Trailer for sale or rent. Rooms to rent 50 cents. Robin Roman, I saw the short video on YouTube just the other day. Interesting for sure. Huh. Oh, there's just much time, things that I try to check out. Um, that's why coming on late, I think, gives us somewhat of an advantage because people's attention spans are longer. Obviously, I'm reaching a predominantly retired audience. I don't know about Henry. Henry might be a young man. He could be, or he once was. I'm going to predict it's one or the other. Either you are young now, Henry, or you once were. See, I could open myself up a little business with those abilities. Seeing if I missed anything here. Bob's closer to Elvis than being just his twin. Bob's closer to Elvis than being just his twin. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, um, the twin isn't going to be a carbon copy of his brother just because he's a twin. You're 68. Well, I will be in March. I'll be joining the club. What can I expect at 68, Henry? How is it different from being 67? I don't know if you watch the shorts on Facebook, but there's this young gentleman that goes around. He seems like a real nice guy, and he tends to pick older people, and he says, um, "If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?" And they'll say, "I'm 67, I'm 68, I'm 75, I'm 80," and he'll say, "How does it feel being 80 years old?" What things were important to you earlier on that aren't important to you anymore? Are you afraid of death and all these things? Find that guy on Facebook, but those reels are very addictive, and so I got to try harder not to start watching them because it'll be like 1 in the morning and I'll say, well, I'm just going to watch a few. Like I follow Steve Guttenberg, the actor. He does these little upbeat, positive, short uh, little raps, as he's out there in public somewhere. Um, he does mostly theater these days, I think, but he looks great. It's amazing how hair color can maintain your look for a long time. Shirley does like to say, "Dang, dang." Yeah, you're right about that. Um, so that's very good, Neo. So they are real interesting. Well, they're addictive. I can say that much. Some of them are. Like I follow this E.C. Stilson, a woman who has terminal cancer, and she's got kids that are fairly young. She was diagnosed in 2020, and she has a book or two out, and you know, she basically has come to the end of the time when she should be leaving this earth, but she does radical therapies and she's hanging in there. She's a real inspiration. Uh, right now we have 35, and that ain't no jive, 35 watching. So I agree with Tucker most of the time. I would agree with Russell. Unlike people like Mike Pence and the generals that you see on Fox News, General Kellogg, I mean, I have all the respect in the world for them, but they will have us in World War III faster than you can say Jiminy Crickets. Jiminy Crickets. And of course, Lindsey Graham. I like Lindsey, but, he wants us to bomb Iran, bomb Iran. And then when they shoot a nuclear missile because it looks like they have them and we don't catch it, what's he going to be saying then? Huh? Huh? But I understand if you play the game that our uh, leader is playing, they know you're weak and they take advantage of that. They know that Joe Biden, doesn't seem to have a backbone. Uh, when he absolutely has to, he'll retaliate. But he lets them know that we don't want to escalate war with Iran because they are really behind all this. They're funding everything, and it's the funding them with money that we gave them, no matter what Blinken says and what have you. That comes into play. We should have never released that money to them. We should have never released it. What do you think, gang? What topics is on your mind? What do you care about? Whether whether it's a local topic where you live. Um, oh, me not having a 500,000 followers. I said a million, so I was being really optimistic. Well, there's a lot of things, petty. Um, there's things that hold me back. So I should overcome them, right? I should put my hat and soul into this. Number one, my number one problem right out of the gate, Patty with an I, is that I have this golden calf topic that is the reason that I have most of my 5,800 subscribers. And if I don't do said topic, then the videos you can just see go way down. I think I didn't finish the thought. In terms of monetization, you get paid for every 1,000 views that you do. But I think watch time hours come into play somehow too. And my watch time hours are pretty good because of the live shows. Some people stay for the whole thing, and that brings watch time up. You guys are really helping me with that. But so I have this golden calf topic, and there's plenty of videos up on the topic. But I really felt conviction that I've got to give it a rest and limit it to major breaking news. You can see videos up here where I'm saying I'm going to be backing off from the topic, and I went back on my intentions. I didn't promise that I was going to go away from the topic, but because the interest was so great, I kept going. And as the storyteller, but I have no high tech skills. Um, I don't have a music license, so I can't play copyrighted music. And I can use Andy from time to time to roll something in. I can, but I don't have an audience for some of the other topics that I have a passion about. I'm grateful that here on something like midnight ramblings or worldwide ramblings on Saturday night at 10:30 East Coast time that we are able to talk about other stuff. But it really hurts when I don't have a new video with the magic words of Bob Joyce and Elvis in the title, you know. Um, so immediately, well, not immediately, but at some point you start to notice a decline in your analytics. And after almost 6 years of doing this virtually for nothing, finally it started to go up, and my God, all of a sudden I can pay a car payment and have money left over, and it's going up further, from the Google money. And that's very necessary. It's very necessary, because my days of my little part-time job cleaning the Honda showroom and what have you, those days are over. I can't do that anymore. I can't lift heavy stuff anymore with cardiomyopathy, and with a defibrillator in my chest. Julie, 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 do you love me? Of course you don't, because you make sound decisions. I started watching because of those videos, Jack. Well, yeah, this is my point, Julie. But I enjoy your storytelling. Well, I appreciate that. Uh, the storytelling in the Bob Joyce videos is what put me apart from the other people that just put up pictures and roll in video from the church and what have you. I do a little of that, but you know, uh, I've pretty much told the story except now for major breaking news. I will have something to say on Saturday night, but I don't know about putting in the title because it's something I think needs to be put in the Saturday night show, but it's not major breaking news. David James, hello, Jack, Southern Ohio here. I enjoy listening to your ramblings. Yes, the ramblings of a crazy man, and tune in when I can. I very much appreciate that. I think you probably have subscribed and liked, maybe, huh, huh, huh. Then there's Pamela, aka Pembo, not Rambo, but Pembo. You are the female Rambo, Pamela. Can you kick ass and take some names? Hmm? From extreme northern Illinois. Oh, extreme. I was seeing this general, this no nonsense, I think he was a general, um, talking today that the policy we have now, if someone is if someone tells me someone has extreme views, and he didn't say that, that he was talking about the MAGA or he was talking about someone that would be an extreme progressive. I don't even really look into it. I just release them from service. Really? So if you love America, you didn't explain yourself, General. If you love America with all your heart and you want to put America first, that's too extreme for you, maybe? That's how that comment would be interpreted because you left it hanging in the air. Now, the last I heard, you're 20, 30, 40% down in recruits. Why the hell would anyone want to go into the service now? And thank God for the great people that are there already. We owe so much to them. We owe so much to them. But people are not wanting to do this because they want to know that you will have their back. You know, and when we're talking about someone going into the service and their gender reassignment surgery will now be paid for by the government, what the heck has happened here? What's going on? I'm fine if somebody wants to have. It's their business if they want to have gender reassignment surgery after they're 18 years old. But don't be cutting the breast off a 13-year-old and chemically castrating a 12-year-old boy. We can't be that insane because most likely they're going to regret their decision. So it's child abuse. It's freaking child abuse. Melissa VD, all the people. I mean, wow, you guys are really night owls like me, huh? I mean, we're on for an hour already. It's so fast. Oh, Pambo, well, you came and you gave without taking. don't know why I said I I don't know why I associate, Pambo with Mandy. Um, so I'm not sure where you are in the conversation, Patty with an I, but, it's a real uphill fight. I can't keep doing one Bob Joyce video after another, First of all, you know I'm putting my butt out there. I don't think people really appreciate that. Now, I'm very respectful and I only speak of possibilities. But, he's a real human being and we love him, right? We love him. Someone wrote in the comments, do you love him enough to stop doing these videos? Because, I'll say that from time to time. I love him too. Do you love him enough to stop? And I said, yes, except for major breaking news, because I am the chronological storyteller and nobody else seems to really do that, you know? So, um, but I opened the door for an opportunity to the pastor to call me. I don't have to keep saying this. I know sometimes we get new people, but I opened up the door if the pastor was unhappy with my work to video call me on Facebook Messenger. And so I would know it was him, and I would take the videos down. So I expected to stop this topic years ago, but the call never came. You're in the bottom of Wisconsin, huh? My God, you might fall off, Melissa, on this flat Earth. You know, Shelley, I gotta ask, do you believe in the flat Earth, Shelley? I gotta ask. Oh boy. Rick Hayes. Hey, Jack, I live in Southeast Indiana, straight across the river from the Rabbit Hash, Kentucky. Oh, see, I thought you were going to be talking about the Bunny Ranch. Not that I ever saw that show, Cat House. Was it Cat House on HBO with Big Daddy and a bunch of beautiful women and the older blonde woman who was like the mom to the girls. I never saw it once. Oh dear. Oh dear. I was sad when Big Daddy died. He was running in Nevada for Congress, I guess, and he was leading. He was going to win the office. And then he died at the ranch in bed. No, not as far as we know, not the way Nelson Rockefeller died, former governor of New York. Look it up. But, he died in his sleep, which I guess is a good way to go. He wasn't that old. He loved those cigars that made me a little frightened. I don't smoke many cigars. Once in a while, though, I just love my cigar. And statistics show that cigars and pipes, no matter what they say, are much safer than cigarettes. And only a third out of the people that smoke all their lives die of lung cancer. The other 2/3 don't. That's who was, oh, I know who it was. It was Dennis Prager. Do you ever watch the Salem TV network? It's worth your while. You got Sebastian Gorka, Dr. Sebastian Gorka on there from 3 to 5 East Coast time. But at noon is Dennis Prager. So sometimes I don't feel like watching if I am watching TV, I don't feel like watching the noon show there with Kaylee McEnany and Harris Faulkner. I love her; she's great. I love both of them, and one male guest. So they named the show around it. What's it called? I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. Red Oak, Illinois, huh? I have not heard of it. I've heard of Tall Oaks Apartments because they're right over there. They're right over there. Um, but oak is used a lot, right? Well, Stephen, somebody new here. It's great. Hi, Jack, from also Indiana. Do you know um, who's the other one from Indiana? Kathleen Whataburger. I know it's not really her last name, but she's okay with me calling her that. She said, why is the Bunny Ranch on your mind? Because That's who I am in the flesh. There's the flesh and the spirit. And I used to watch that show all the time back in the day, on HBO. When I started the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned channel, I was originally calling myself Pastor Allen. You can hear it in the early videos. Then I realized, I remember that scripture that says those who teach are held to a higher judgment, higher standard. And I just thought, oh, whoa, I'm not a teacher. I'm not qualified. I'm not walking close enough to God. I'm not living enough of a sanctified life where I'm, dying daily. So I am someone who shares as I feel the Spirit leading me, because um, I do feel that so many times we on Worldwide Ramblings we always close with Scripture, and I feel like God just led me to a Scripture that speaks to me. But I know it speaks to everybody because we all have to deal with that. There's always the Monty Python rabbit. I don't really remember it. I remember the cheese sketch. I do. I remember that movie where there's this real fat guy in the Monty Python movie, and he decides to have just one more wafer, a little vanilla wafer. That's all. One more little dessert, one vanilla wafer, and he explodes. But the cheese sketch is great, and of course, uh, was it John Cleese and Eric, and all of them were fantastic. Well, now we have even Tamara Lockhart has joined us. Hello, Jack. Rock, Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas, of course. Yes, 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 yes. Um, been through it real quick on a Greyhound bus, but never spent any time in Arkansas. That's pretty close to Texas, though, right? Pretty close. It's been chilly there, hasn't it? You got a great governor, Tamara. I hope you appreciate her. There is talk that, you could lose that governor. She could become the vice president of the United States, but I don't think he's going to pick her. That's not my thought, but there are others that say it's a possibility. If it were up to Melania, and it could be, and if it were up to Donald Trump Jr., it would be Tucker Carlson. Uh, uh, Don Jr. has said that. He has said that, and they have spoken to their father about their preference. Tucker Carlson, the all-white boy ticket. Can you imagine? Oh boy, I don't know. I would be very comfortable with a Tucker Carlson for president. But having said that, there are people that would be more qualified in government and what have you. But I trust the mind of Tucker. But he would be, the downside would be is that he wouldn't want to fund the Israel conflict and what have you, the Israel war. So the scary thing about being America only, you don't want to be America only. You want to remember your allies that have been there for you and that will join forces with you. And when you're a Christian, you are commanded to support Israel. And I believe our government should do that as well, the place where Jesus will return. So, yeah, you got me on that one, Kathleen. So anyway, I was saying, I called it the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, depressed and downtrodden, because what I was aiming at was for people that are that feel that they just are. There's too much condemnation hurled in the church, and too many crazy church games that are really social clubs, and people getting offended if the pastor doesn't promote them to something, and what have you. So that this was going to be a place for people to come that were just sick of it, just like Joel Osteen reaches a lot of people that would never listen to another preacher. Now, I'm not condoning his style all the time. I'm certainly not. Mike Winger did a very good. I don't know if you watch him here on YouTube, Pastor Mike Winger. He's a video pastor, but he does a good job in explaining how Joel gets it wrong so much of the time. Look at all these new people. Hi, Mary Duncan from South Louisiana. I'll get me some crawfish. So how far are you then from New Orleans? New Orleans is on my bucket list. And Brenda Noyce joins us. My goodness, 41 watching right now. And Eliz, uh, Butik. Hi, Pamela, aka Pambo. Do you know Pambo? I love that name. I do, Pambo. I've never met a Pambo before. Just like the female nurse practitioner named Barry at Westchester Medical Center. I said, "You're my first female Barry." And I didn't have to worry that she was, going to say, I don't use that pronoun. I knew she did. I knew she did. Um, well, Tamara, what they say, if there's no perfect churches, and if there was a perfect church and you joined it, it wouldn't be perfect anymore. That certainly goes for me. It certainly goes for me. I'm a hunting guide and a taxidermist, like Norman Bates. Norman Bates learned taxidermy both in the movies with Anthony um, Perkins and the Bates Motel, which I loved uh, with um, with the great Freddie Highmore, who is taping in Vancouver, Canada, is taping the last season of The Good Doctor. It's not debuting for a few more weeks. So I don't know how long the season's going to be. I think it's going to be more half a season, but that'll be the end of The Good Doctor. And Freddie Highmore said even though they ended the show, that he would like to revisit the character again. And I think that would be wonderful. He can play the adult version of Norman Bates, and they can not screw up the ending this time when they finally do end it. 45 minutes from NOLA. Hmm. Um, but it's great to see you all here on Midnight Ramblings. I mean, I got all these things written down and I'm not even getting them because everybody's just, maybe we're like the Herb Jepko nightcap show that I've referred to in the past, where Herb would just take calls from all over the country, and no one ever mentions the pictures behind me, especially one of them. Not even you, Kathleen Whataburger. Why am I doing it? One is, of course, of who we think may be Pastor Bob Joyce with Priscilla at Graceland. That's just what we think. We can't verify that, but that's what we think. Some of you think that would have been after the funeral. And there's Karen and me, but no one ever comments on the other picture. And why am I highlighting it? Because I got a joke ready and I never get to use it. Oh dear. Oh dear, my flesh is showing. Patty, we got snow last night. Uh, they were showing one of these videos where there's a guy who talks to homeless people on Facebook on the Reels, and he was in Venice Beach, Florida, which looked absolutely magnificent. And here's this older woman who's been homeless for a number of years. I was surprised to see that there's a lot of people in Venice Beach, Florida, that are homeless. The young people go down there to live off the land. It's usually beautiful weather, and she's been homeless down there for a number of years, and she's not happy about it. Somebody like this, she's not crazy or anything like that. People can't make a go of it on just Social Security. That's just not enough if you're living by yourself on Social Security. Hi, Ted Richards. Hello there, Jack. Hope you're well. Did I miss much? Well, catch the replay because it'll be available soon. We're just really having, a nice time. I've talked a little bit about Cori Bush, the Congresswoman. Um, I hope she is going to get primaried. I think she is getting primaried, and I hope they get her out of office because the whole squad needs to go. The whole squad needs to go. Saw Vice President Pence being interviewed on Fox today. It's bomb, 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 bomb on Iran for him. How do you like my new on-air sign, Ted Richards? It just came in the mail on Monday, and this is its debut. But when I look at it, I see a deep, bright red, and that's not showing up on camera that way. And I can change the colors so it's green, purple, goes back and forth to the various colors, but that won't show up either. So that's. I'm glad you will. Thank you for watching and subscribing if you haven't already, and liking. Let's get the likes up a little bit more if you are liking any of this. And what else? Yeah, Lindsey Graham, same thing. He wants war, war, war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. But sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's necessary. So Pence, is on there, and I don't know why he's. This is the first time I've seen him in quite a while now since he dropped out of the race. Um, he just he just messed things up for himself, because everywhere he goes, the Trump people don't like him, and the progressives don't like him either, So he has no future in politics. He has no future. Um, it occurs to me that the Pope is very much like President Biden. Neither one of them seems to know how unpopular they are. People that would vote for Biden don't necessarily like him at all. They don't want him, but they figure, they think, well, he's probably the guy that can beat Trump again. I don't think he's even going to be in there in the final mix, and it's not going to be Kamala either. I mean, everybody in the know seems to feel that way, and no matter what Gavin Newsom says, I think he'll be very much available, and maybe Michelle Obama. Cool, Kathleen is love seeing all the photos of the faith, family, freedom background. I got that on Amazon from somewhere. I like that. That's the one I'll use most of the time for anything where we could be talking about politics and stuff. But on Saturday night, probably not. That's our fun Saturday night party. And so right now it's about 800 views. The magic words aren't in there, so it's not going to become 2, 3, 4,000 views. So this is the conundrum that I face. This is the dilemma. This is the dilemma. I'm like the Cufflinks that had one big hit, Tracy. Tracy never let go. Da 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 da. I'll build my world around you. Come to me. Don't let go. Hold me close, Tracy. Never, never, never let me go. Bum, bum. That's Ron Dante, who sings with the Cufflinks that one song that they had. But you've heard Ron Dante a lot of times if you like the oldies, because he was in like 4 different groups. It is also Ron Dante that sang that great song that everybody knows, written by Andy Kim. Why he didn't sing the song himself, I'm not sure, since it's like one of the all-time radio classics. Sugar, da 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 da. Honey, honey, da 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 da. You are my candy girl, and I can't stop loving you. That's Ron Dante, the same guy who sang Tracy. And Ron Dante was the lead singer of the 1910 Fruit Gum Company. Every time I see your face, I love you. 1, 2, 3, red light. 1, 2, 3, red light. Then the Simon Says song. They had like 3 hits, the 1910 Fruit Gum Company. The Archies, yes, the Archies was the group that Ron Dante sang under. He was like, if you have You have a hit record? We'll call ourselves this, that, or the other. And he's been to this city many times and sang his songs from all the various groups he was in. You know who he's the lead singer of now? Ron Dante, the Turtles. Yeah. Um, Eddie can no longer do it. He's not well, which is Howard. Howard, can't think of the last name at the moment, but he's not singing anymore. And Ron Dante, if you go see the Happy Together tour in the summer, you'll see the Turtles with Ron Dante, and he'll sing all those other songs, because he's got like 5 or 6 others he can go to. So there you go. Brenda may be going to Benton on her birthday, February 7th. Get there early. Don't end up in the fellowship hall. It's becoming a tough ticket. Pambo says, Jack, you could be George Jones' twin. I have heard that before. Thank God you didn't say I could be Louis Anderson's twin, because the one person said that once. And John Candy, which, of course, he was younger than me, and he was like 400 and some pounds when he died. Loved John Candy, though. He was a good-looking man. He was just, obviously dangerously overweight, like Wolfman Jack was. So I used to play George Jones on my first radio station in 1977. WBUZ, the sound of the country, at 1570. At 1570. 36 still watching. Amazing, amazing. Midnight Ramblings here. No promotion for this, and yet you are here. Now, when you think of it, I have 5,800 people that could get a notification that this is on. It's a small number, but then we'll get the replay crowd, and that helps. This is the last day of January. Goodbye, January. Very good year, a good month for me in terms of this channel, the best month in the history of this channel. I don't think I can keep it going that high, but it would be very helpful to me paying some bills, I just can't rely on it. Because there's a ton of competition, and I am a one-trick pony that also has a certain appeal during the live shows when we talk about a plethora of things. So I got to find another magic topic, and I've got to get my editing into those videos, which will probably be Randy. No, not Randy. Andy Randy. That's a good radio name. Good night, Patty, Brenda, Shell, Pamela. Doesn't say good night to me. Melissa VD, I see. Well, Abracadabra by the Steve Miller Band. Black panties with an angel face. Why is it that's the lyric I most remember from Abracadabra? There's no hope for me. I just should, go to Niagara Falls and see how my diving skills are. So happy birthday, Brenda Early. My son is Groundhog Day, February 2nd, right around the corner now. Let's talk about Sasquatch. Yeah. Finding Bigfoot. I think he lives downstairs. The Travel Channel has never checked downstairs. They might find him. Oh dear. I still can't use my joke because nobody comments on the picture behind me. Amazing. I watch the movie Groundhog Day every February 2nd. Bill Murray should have won something for that, but they don't do it for comedy. See, he didn't get it until he played the washed-up actor having to go to Japan and what have you to do commercials to make a living. Begins with N, the title. It's almost coming out of my mind. Oh, I see, Patty. You are seeing validity in the Sasquatch topic. If I had to make say they say, well, there's a $500,000 prize. but you have to guess right. Is Sasquatch real? I would say yes. Hello, Susan Carter. How are you? Coming in late here. Rick Hayes, I want to hear your joke. Okay. Well, if anyone ever commented on the photo behind me, I would have said that's Catwoman. But what happened to her is that her costume was lost. Her It was in her luggage, and they lost it at the airport. I was always waiting to say that, but no one ever mentioned Catwoman behind me. Boy, if someone could mention who that is, I'd know a lot about you. Oh dear. Who is that? Who? Well, my God, here's your chance. Hi, Jack. Hello. What are you doing joining us at 1:25 in the morning? Or is that yet not your time? Because I don't know where you are. I don't know. I don't know. And don't let the bodyguards give you any grief. Just be nice. Don't mention the E word, Brenda. Don't do it. Don't try to come in from the back door and say something. Don't do it. Strange but true stories. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of those out there. That's true. That's true. I've seen some, footage of Bigfoot and Yetis and what have you. Yeah. Um, I You're a night owl just like the rest of us there. Here's your chances. Yeah. Here's your chance. I want to put an S on there, and there is no S. Um, so I didn't say my joke was funny, Rick. I just said that I was waiting for someone to comment on the picture behind me that I occasionally put up. Uh, I think I can I think I can write material, say this the right way. I can write material for Jack Savage to make him funny, but it's usually pretty carnal. So then I'm convicted about that. And, it's going to have to get more than 300 views to make it worth that effort, makeup and everything, that Jack Savage has to put on, so he looks good on camera. um, Silent running is the only way in Benton. But verify when it comes to PBJ. I don't know how you verify, Ted. I have been told the bodyguards will escort you to the door if you like Jack Savage Sundays. Well, I'm not saying I won't allow Jack to come on here again, but every Sunday I don't think so. I got to feel. It's like when I'm doing a Bob Joyce topic. I've got to feel it. I don't want to repeat things I've said before, but if there's major breaking news, I will perform my responsibility to be the chronological storyteller. And I welcome your emails and suggestions. Nobody gives more of them than Susan Safati, that's for sure. But that's cool. That's cool. And there is, I think it was Susan that wants me to look into the MJ evidence. I'll try to. She sent some links, of course. They always send links. I'm not a link person myself, except unless I'm having a breakfast sausage. Then I do prefer links over a patty, unless, of course, it's an Egg McMuffin, which I love, or a from Burger King, the egg and cheese and sausage croissant. Then I want a patty. Other than that, I don't like those big fat links like you're eating a sausage and pepper sandwich. I like the regular, and there's nobody better than more, more, is it, they say more pork sausage or Parks sausage? Parks is the best. Don't go with the banquet. Don't go with the banquet. Trust me on this. I know my sausage. um, just looking at your comments. You had a Big Mac today, Brenda? Well, how much was it? $6, $7? Did you have the meal or just the? Now they got the double. So a total of 4 patties now on the double Big Mac. 4 patties. It's like should come with a defibrillator, right? Yeah, Big Mac is just one of those things that you get a hankering for a few times a year. Even a Whopper, same thing, or an Arby's roast beef for me. They got the fish back, but Culver's, those of you that live anywhere near a Culver's and can go and enjoy their cod sandwich, I am envious of you. I am envious of you. I wish there was a Culver's here in New York because their fish sandwiches are incredible. 2 fish sandwiches and a drink. But if I have a Big Mac meal, I have the orange high C. Brenda, you had the meal, huh? Large with y- yes, Jack. The meal large was $6. You must live in Poorsville, because here in New York, even upstate, I'm not talking about the city. God knows it's probably $16 there, but it's it's close to $10. It used to be like 5.49 or something like that. Wow. I love codfish too, Brenda, and it's really, really good in the state of Maine, and it's really, really good in at Culver's. If you ever are down south anywhere and you see a Culver's, don't drive by it. Go in there and have yourself a couple of cod sandwiches. Oh, I would love one right now. I would love one right now. Certain things, certain things. What are you writing, Ted? Your Big Mac was years ago. I need a cod sandwich now. Well, you and me are in the same boat. I don't really want to go into your territory to get one though when it's freezing cold. You know, I don't want to go to Maine right now, but we're going this summer, Lord willing. We make our plans and the Lord just smiles, but we're going this summer to Maine, Kennybunk, and we always pick a place in Maine that's nowhere near Portland slash Old Orchard Beach, which we go to if we're going to go to Kennybunk. Um, we want to go to some place we've never seen. So we went to Bar Harbor in 2022. We did, and 40,000 other people did. I thought, oh boy, I've never had to parallel park in this tight of a space, but I can't go by it because I was fortunate. I don't believe in luck. I was fortunate to get this one. Oh, Maine is beautiful, but they're invading it. I'll tell you, those YZ generation are going to ruin Maine. They're doing it. They're doing it. Um, trying to get President Trump off the ballot there. This woman, unbelievable, unbelievable. Yes, you elect them, and then they try to make a decision like that for you. What are you saying, Pambo? What's the bodyguard thing all about? Many people have told me in the emails that the bodyguards are present at Household of Faith. I've heard a number of different stories. Um, if Bob were somebody else that then went into the witness protection program, um, he would not have been allowed to stay in the witness protection program once he decided to start an international ministry on YouTube. That would be against the rules. So he would, at that point, go back to regular bodyguards because, that is standard fare. And I've been told everything from this guy that was mentioning Elvis was escorted out by 2 bodyguards to um, a bodyguard would say would come to the front door when it was time to start letting people in. They would let the regular church people in first, and then they would let the fans in. These are all things that have been told me in emails. Um, so there's that. Brenda's making people hungry, huh? Yeah, you live in Detroit Motor City. Oh, they have buy one get second for $1. This is like you're going back to 2010 here, Brenda. We, I know that there's hard times in Detroit, Michigan, so that must play into it. Well, we don't have those deals anymore. We don't have these deals. Like for the longest time, Burger King had two Whoppers for $6. I'm not talking about the junior. I'm talking about two full-size Whoppers for $6. Went on for years, a couple of years. And then one day they stopped the special, and two Whoppers were all of a sudden $15 here in New York. Now you can't go that much. You can't make that kind of a swing. You can't do that kind of an increase. You know, okay, we can't do 2 for 6 anymore. We're paying our staff here $15 an hour, even a 16-year-old. So now we're going to do 2 for 8.99, and then maybe 2 for 9.99. But you go 2, you lose the 2 for deal, and if you're going to buy 2, it's going to be $15 when you were paying 6. So Burger King got real quiet again. That was a major mistake on their part. A major mistake on their part. They pack the cat and the yad, go in and order the Whopper, and they want to charge them more than double for 2 Whoppers. Question. Question mark in the Mysterians, 96 tiers. Why wasn't a bodyguard at Pastor Bob's house when Spa Guy went up unannounced? Very good question, and it has occurred to me, Patty. Um, the There's been a lot of things that have been said about that from that, Spa Guy was not unknown to household of faith and things like that. I have no idea. I'm not making a judgment, Spa Guy. I'm just saying people say things to me, and I have no idea whether they're true or not. Um, Obviously, some guy showing up at the door was not going to get a worldwide exclusive. I've talked about this in just so many videos, like The Verdict. But that is a good point. It is a good point. I'll give it to you. I wonder how Bo, also known as Bob, could pull off seeing Lisa Marie over the years. The paparazzi must have rules with certain celebrities. A no reporting rule. Well, he kept under the radar. And if she came to Graceland and he was upstairs, back then no one could go upstairs. I guess they can now, right? It's roped off, but you can see it at least. Um, so they had places. They had places. There's lots of country houses way off the beaten path, behind gates and things like that they could have met up. Many, and she was living her own life after a while too. Um, but it was always the old joke: if Elvis was still alive, Michael Jackson would have never made it to the wedding that day. Hmm. I just don't know. So look at this. I never planned on being this long here. 31 people still watching. And hello, replay crowd. We do worldwide rambling Saturday nights at 10:30, 10:30 East Coast time, most Saturday nights. Most Saturday nights. Not all, but most Saturday nights. I always do a promo announcing what we're going to talk about. And of course, your topics are always welcome. Um, so if you don't see the promo, that's a pretty good sign that I won't be on Saturday night, but I'm planning on being on as I do this on the last day of January. Goodbye, January. Don't let the door hit you in the arse on the way out. Now, if I lived in Florida, I wouldn't be saying this. I'd be just as excited in January. It would be around May that I would start saying, I love Florida, but Maine in the summer is beautiful. Maine in the summer is the way to go. Those snowbirds, I wish I could afford to be one. I wish I could afford to be one. Um, yeah, there were lots of Elvis sightings um, starting starting in late 77, you know, um, over the years. So, um, I just, as I say in the videos, Ted, you could hear, we couldn't see, but we could hear Bob making a denial. And then it seemed like he regretted what he said. And he felt now he had to further explain himself. And he said, um, uh, the Lord gave me visions. And that's in the Bible. Uh, your the young men will, dreams, I meant to say, your young men will see visions and your old men will dream dreams. The Lord gave me dreams, I believe he said, to reach the world for Christ. So even though he decided to be a pastor in this small church in Benton, Arkansas, he was never going to be satisfied just doing that. He wanted to reach the world. He wanted his sermons and the praise and what have you to be seen around the world. And it has been very, very successful. Not so much monetarily, because that's not the issue. The issue is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, and he does that. And I watched the whole sermon this past Sunday. I have something to say about that on Sunday night, but that's not major breaking news, what I'm going to say. It's just something that I think we could say that would be good. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether that was a setup or what. I don't know. But there was no way he was going to get an exclusive, you know. Good night, Julie. Julie, I'm glad you came here. I don't know. I forget where you're from now. Um, but hope you'll join us Saturday night, Julie, at 10:30. Glad you dropped by. Good conversation. See you next time. There you are, Julie. I see it now. Okay, I'll look forward to that. Jefferson City, Missouri. Wow. See, when I was on the radio playing the music here in the Hudson Valley, we got into a few states. When I did Christian radio, we were in 7 states, but I never got to Missouri, and there was no internet when I was doing radio in the beginning, that's for sure. So, yeah, I wrote down a bunch of things, but I think, most of keep praying for Deborah Lake, Paul McCreary, who we haven't been hearing from. And if you have a prayer request, just put it in the recorded version of this. The replay will be instantly available um, as soon as we say goodnight. Usually that is the way it goes. Virginia, huh? Oh, I love Virginia. It's a beautiful state. Virginia is for lovers. Yeah, I have friends in Virginia. Good night, Pastor Bob, and good night, Jack. Thank you, Shelley. So I appreciate everybody that joined us for this worldwide ramblings on the last day of January, or whenever you're watching it. Whenever you're watching it, you can comment in the replay video. We would love that. Please subscribe and like, and I may do more of these, I mean, since I'm only doing major breaking news for Pastor Bob Joyce, I need to find a way to continue to keep the analytics strong. And please always suggest other topics that you care about and that you'd like us to speak about. And you can speak about them, of course, as well. So thank you. It's bedtime. Good night, sweetheart. And you too, sir, Rick Hayes and Randy from North Carolina. And thank you, everybody else. Oh, here's someone else new. Lori Wiggins. I just can't see Bob being 88. Well, he'd be 89 now. He just had a birthday. I'm so puzzled. And one of your pieces is missing, Lori. One of your puzzle pieces is missing. So what do we do now? We have to manufacture a puzzle piece or just buy another puzzle so we can. Does anybody ever put puzzles on their wall anymore? I don't think so. I understand. A lot of people say that, Lori. That would be one of the top comments I get. I speak of possibilities. I could be wrong about the whole thing. But when you get to like 60 coincidences, so-called coincidences. It's just hard to see it that way. Good night, Stephen Garvis. Thank you. Stay mellow. Yes. Have you ever been mellow? I used to play that song on the radio all the time. Mary Duncan, have a good night. Thank you. Rick Hayes, thank you. Mary, thank you. Shelley, Neo, thank you. Pamela Pambo and Kathleen. And see, when I start naming people, I'm going to miss people. Brenda and Eddie are still going steady in the summer of 75. New Billy Joel single coming in a week or two. First one in 30 years or whatever. I'm looking forward to it. I hope the song doesn't suck, huh? That would be a drag. So Jack Willard here. This has been Midnight Ramblings. Who knows when we'll do it again? I'm starting to think there's a possibility of a mix of tape and live on 3, 4 nights a week, but that I don't know for sure. It's just something that's swimming along in my crazy head. Big God bless you. Talk to you soon. I appreciate you.